Today on Judge Porter.
So the 13,000, what's that for? I'm not understanding.
I have to pay childcare expenses now because she did not take care of my child after school.
Asking me to babysit him because she wants $13,000 for Pilates and all these other things. She's not being honest.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Porter is presiding. Court is now in session.
Everyone, please be seated. Thank you so much. Okay, we're here for case number 9107, Katherine Finkle versus Angela Lewis. Ladies, can you please come up to the podium? Ms. Finkle, good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Ms. Lewis, good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Finkle, ma'am, it shows here that you're suing Ms. Lewis for the amount of $13,000. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes,
That's
you're
pretty
correct.
hefty. What's going on here? Why are you suing her?
Well, Miss Lewis refused to take care of my child after school, and so now I have very expensive child care, and that's what the $13,000 is.
I'm sorry, and Ms. Lewis is what to your child?
She's my son's 6th grade middle school teacher.
You're suing your son's teacher for $13,000 because she didn't take care of your son because of
For after school.
for after school.
Yeah, we had an arrangement that she would tutor my son 2
Okay.
days a week,
Okay.
and then also 5 days a week, she would take care of him until I was able to pick him up from my work.
Okay. What time did you come to the school to pick him up?
Well, sometimes it was around 5:30, and sometimes it was close to 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay. And what time does school end?
It ends at 3,
At 3?
right?
Okay.
And he was being tutored 2 days a week.
So the 13,000, what's that for? I'm not understanding.
I have to pay childcare expenses now because she did not take care of my child after school.
Ah, okay.
One day I came to pick him up,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, this time of year it gets dark very early, and he was sitting on the curb outside of the school and not being taken care of by anybody at the school.
Okay.
And she had told me before that she would take care of him.
I'm just curious.
Until I could pick him up.
What's the school? The name of the school?
It's St. Michael's
St. Michael's.
Middle School, yes.
Okay. Good school. It's a very good school. Who pays for the tuition for that? You?
I have to pay the tuition.
So he's
and-
not there on scholarship or anything like that, correct?
No, and I pay his tuition on time, every time. And I help out as much as I possibly can.
What do you
ask
mean by
for-
help out?
Well, they ask for parents for fundraising things like their crafts festival and their bake sales and all those things. I do as much as I possibly can to help out with that at the school.
Okay. All
And-
right. Ms. Lewis, ma'am.
Yes.
You've heard what Ms. Finkle had to say. Are you, in fact, the teacher for her child?
Yes.
I forgot to ask. What's your child's name?
My child's name is Richard.
Richard. Okay. So Richard Finkle?
Yes.
So you're familiar with Richard Finkle?
Very familiar.
Okay. She says that there was an arrangement for you to provide tutoring and after school care.
Correct. Richard, who's in the 6th grade for the second time, is very much a problematic child in my class.
Okay.
She's pretty much asking me to babysit him because she wants $13,000 for Pilates and all these other things. She's not being honest, for one.
Okay.
I have a child of my own to tend to, and she's acting like she's the only one
All right,
who
so
has problems.
okay, here's what I don't understand though. If school closes at 3:00 p.m., she says that she usually gets there somewhere between 5:30 and 6 o'clock.
Lie.
Is there an after-school program that your school provides? Are you in charge of that, or how does that work?
So I am a literary specialist. I offer intensive reading lessons for some of the children after school. It's about like an hour and 15 minutes after school.
An hour,
And
okay.
She comes sometimes 7:30, 8 p.m. at night. You know, I don't want to leave this child unattended for safety purposes, but like she's crossing boundaries.
Wait a minute. So you do provide tutoring service after school?
Yes, until
But
maybe,
but
yes,
that's only for like an hour after school hours.
correct.
So between 4 and 5:30, 6 o'clock, that's
no,
the-
I don't get paid for those hours. No.
okay. I'm lost. I'm confused. If the services that she's providing after school ends at 4 o'clock, why do you feel that she's obligated to do the rest between the time that the service ends and the time you get there to the school?
Because, Your Honor, we spoke about this. My son has Asperger's, which is on the spectrum
I'm familiar with the syndrome.
of autism.
Okay.
And he does not pick up things as quickly as a lot of other children do.
Okay.
And we set this tutoring up so that he could get some extra help so that he doesn't have to repeat 6th grade again. And we also talked about the fact that my boss requires me to be at work until 5 o'clock, and sometimes traffic is very bad, and I need to be able to get to the school, and sometimes it just takes extra time.
Okay.
And she said that she would do that. She's now reneging
She
on
said
that.
that she
would take care of
She,
him.
I believe and correct me if I'm wrong or not, I believe that she agreed to do the tutoring after school.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
But that ends at 4 o'clock.
And she said that on the other days she would, and on those days, it was okay for him to stay so that until I could get there to pick him up.
Did you say that, ma'am?
No.
Okay.
Now that she's done lying, do you mind if I talk?
Please,
Your Honor?
please, because I'm
Okay. So I had given her my personal cell so she can contact me. I'm aware of his ADHD because I do see his IEP. He does not have Asperger's. She's lying. And I'm trying my best to work with him with his diagnosis and helping him concentrate and things of that nature. But it's like, at what point do we draw the line? Am
Okay.
I teacher and tutor, or am I babysitter, auntie? You get what I'm saying? Like there is some sort of professionalism that's lacking. She's calling me, texting me when I
Okay.
leave, because I have the right to do so.
Well, I'm going to give you some advice.
Okay.
Never give out your personal number for business-related
Lesson learned.
things.
Lesson learned.
Never do that. All right, Miss Finkle, ma'am. Okay. Your son's in 6th grade, so how old is he? Like what, 12, 13, give or take?
He's 11, he's 12 now. Yes.
He's 12?
Yes.
Okay, here's my question. Once the tutoring service is over, why can't he just go home?
Because he can't go home by himself.
Why not?
I mean, because he's not because he has the Asperger's, it keeps him from being as mature as other children.
Okay.
Most children who don't have Asperger's are very mature and at 12 years old, but he's more like a 9-year-old.
Okay.
And it's very unsafe for him to go home by himself. And we don't live that close to the school that he could just walk home.
No, I
anyway.
didn't say walk. I know that the school, and correct me if I'm right on this, the school has bus services for
It
after
does.
school care kids,
Correct.
those who are in extracurricular activities and things of that nature.
It does.
I don't understand why he can't do that. And I understand what you're saying. He has the mentality of a 9-year-old, but he must have something must be going right because he made it to 6th grade.
Correct.
There are no 9-year-olds in 6th grade.
Correct.
That's true, and that's because I've done a lot of work with him at home, and he's had some very good teachers up to this point, and they've been very, very nice to help us out.
He's the only child, isn't he?
He's my only child, and I'm a single parent. I'm not able to take on these expenses. I don't
Miss
make
Finkle,
that much.
ma'am, I think I know what's going on here. Okay, this has nothing to do with the child, you coming to pick up your son. I think it has something to do with something else deeper than that. And I think it has to do with the fact that you don't want to let him go. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is he's growing into his own person. He's growing into, for lack of a better word, manhood.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm going with this? Okay. I was like, I don't understand why she won't let the kid get on the bus and go home. I mean, he's old enough to be home, you know, but you're scared to let him go. I could see that on you. He's the only child, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, ma'am, listen to me. At some point in time, Richard is going to have to figure things out on his own. And that usually starts around 12, 13 years old. And he's at that age. Now, this young lady here, her responsibility is to help him with his academics. The tutoring after school, yeah, you get paid extra for that, or how does that work?
Not much extra, but yes, extra.
Okay, and you said you have your own family
Yes.
at home. She has her own responsibilities at home, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at 4 o'clock, when she leaves to go home, now she has to stop being teacher and be mom.
Yeah.
When you get off from work, you have to stop doing what you do and be mom when you get home.
Preach.
Okay, you can't put an extra burden on somebody outside of their profession. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're trying to do. She is his teacher, not his babysitter.
Amen.
Okay, listen to me, Miss Finkle, and listen to me well. I have 4 kids of my own, 4. And my wife, oh my gosh, you should have saw how my wife did my children. Oh my God, if my kid fell and got a scrape on his knee or whatever, she would freak out. It was always something. It's like, they're gonna be fine, trust me. Children grow. They have their own little experiences, and this is just part of the growing process, ma'am. Richard is gonna be fine because I'm here to tell you right now, there's gonna come a day when he's gonna start driving. That's just 3 years from now. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be driving a car. When he's 18, he's gonna tell you, Mom, I just got accepted into college. I'm going away, and you're gonna have an empty nest. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't have an empty nest. I still got 2, okay, in my home. But then when that day comes and you're going to be home alone, your kid's going to be out there in the world trying to do what they do. There's going to come a day when he's going to be standing at the altar and someone's going to be walking down the aisle saying, I want to marry your son. I'm going to do this. I do. You have to be ready for that. That's part of life. That's part of being a parent. And you're not a bad parent, ma'am. You're just scared of what's going to happen with your son once he goes through life on his own. And this is the first step to that. You understand what I'm saying? Miss Finkle.
Yes, Your Honor, but
Miss Finkle.
But she promised, Your Honor.
Miss Finkle, she can't promise something like that. She promised to help your child with his tutoring. She didn't promise to look after your child until you come home. Because let's say that you don't get there till 7 o'clock. Let's say you get into an accident. What's she supposed to do with your son?
Put him on the bus? Oh, okay.
She's supposed to put her family aside? That's not how this works, man. I understand it's tough being a single parent. It's tough. Mm-hmm. And I don't know the circumstances that brought you into becoming a single parent, but from what I'm seeing, you're doing a good job. You're doing fine. You're paying for his tuition to go to a very good school. You're concerned about his welfare. That's more than I can say about a lot of other parents.
Yes, I am.
Okay, you need to take that, as a badge of honor, ma'am. Mm-hmm. You're doing good, and your son's going to be fine. As a matter of fact, one day, bring him in here. I would love to meet him. Okay, Ms. Finkle, but this case, I'm sorry, I got to dismiss this case. I'm sorry, ma'am.
But Your Honor.
Ma'am, this case is dismissed.
Well said.
I am more than relieved that I don't have to pay $13,000 anymore. It is unfortunate for her situation, but now I get to go home and tend to my own baby boy. And I'm so grateful for Judge Porter for helping me. Thank you.
I'm very upset. I don't think Judge Porter understands that my son is not the same as most 12-year-olds. And he really needs somebody to take care of him. And I can't be there. And it's very expensive for childcare. And I can't afford the tuition and the childcare. And she promised me that she would help me. But now I guess I have to do something, probably get a second job and then pay for more childcare. And I wish I had a family here. I wish I had somebody to help take care of him.